The system is rigged for folks like her. Family connections, political shields, and a media that tiptoes around the truth. So I'm going to lay out the facts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and my name is the Sambit. I want to talk to you about this nightmare unfolding in front of us. The nightmare called the Duduzile Zuma trafficking scandal. You know her, right? She's the daughter of former President Jacob Zuma and the so-called heir to his political throne, strutting around like she's untouchable and she's the best thing that's ever happened to the MK party. But let's call it what it is. She's a psychopath, luring desperate South African men into a death trap in Russia, all while playing the victim. And the worst part, nothing is going to be done to stop her because she's Duduzile Zuma. The system is rigged for folks like her. Family connections, political shields, and a media that tiptoes around the truth. So I'm going to lay out the facts. No fluff, just the cold, hard reality that has me raging, because we can't let this slide. Let's start with the basics of what went down. Duduzile Zuma Sambudla, now resigned MP from the MK party, is accused of recruiting South African men under false promises. These guys thought they were heading to Russia for legit jobs like construction, security gigs, you see those things, you name it. But nope, they ended up conscripted into Russia's war machine in Ukraine, fighting a brutal conflict that they never signed up for. I'm talking 17 South Africans trapped in this mess, some as young as in their 20s, some my age, facing gunfire, freezing conditions, and no way out. One survivor, speaking from a Ukrainian hospital, described how they were promised salaries of up to 40,000 rand a month, only to be handed rifles and shoved to the front lines of fightings. It's human trafficking, plain and simple, luring people with lies, exploiting their desperation, and shipping them off to die in a foreign power nation. The allegations hit the fan in November 2025 because a criminal complaint was filed against Duduzile and two others by a woman named Zuma Mncube, whose brother was one of the victims. And she laid it all out: human trafficking, fraud, assisting foreign militaries, which is straight up illegal under South African law. The Hawks are investigating, confirming the case involves these 17 men who are now stuck in Ukraine. Stuck, some are injured, others are just begging for help to get home, to get back to their families. And Duduzile's name pops up every time because she's allegedly connected to these guys who are connected to the recruiters in the Russian interests. Social media posts and WhatsApp chats reportedly show her promoting these opportunities, painting Russia as some golden land of jobs. Remember the Russian job scam? But when the truth exploded, she bolted. She resigned her parliamentary seat just days after the story broke, claiming it was to focus on family, or whatever the excuse they trot out nowadays. Come on, friends. That's not a coincidence. That is running from the fire she started. And here's where it gets even more twisted. Her denials are as flimsy as they come. You see, Duduzile insists she had nothing to do with it, even opening a counter case against one of the accusers, saying, in fact, she is the real victim of defamation. She points fingers at a guy named the other recruiter, claiming he misused her name. But the evidence says she trapped the men, and the trapped men say they were funneled through her networks with promises linked to her pro-Russia stance. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by Aquel in the fight against diabetes. World Diabetes Day might have passed on November 15th, but the mission does not stop. We are still fighting. So wear your blue, drink your water, and stay accountable. Aquel is reminding all of us, hydration is your first defense. Drink your water, eat your vitamins, watch your sugar, say your prayers, and say no to diabetes. Aquel, pure refreshment, pure fight. Let's keep on going. Remember, the Zuma family has long cozied up to Putin. Jacob Zuma himself praised Russia during the BRICS summits. And Duduzile has been very vocal about this entire situation. And believe me, when I say she's been vocal, she's been very, very vocal. Sorry, if you see me moving, I'm trying to check if this thing is focusing. Okay, we good? All right. So, as I was saying, these young men were trafficked, and it was being lied about as a side hustle, saying these young men could escape poverty in South Africa, where unemployment was at 33% and youth unemployment was at 65%. Why do I call her a psychopath? Look at the fallout. Families are shattered. Mothers are waiting for their sons who may never return. You've got brothers like the one in Zuma Mncube's story, shot and left for dead. Yet Tutuzile shows no remorse. In interviews, she deflects and smiles, saying, no, this is just all a plot to try and silence her and the MK party. No apologies, no efforts to rescue these guys, even if it's not her fault. It's called calculated indifference to human life. Psychopaths lack empathy, and this lifts the bill, sacrificing lives for political points or personal gain. And the MK party, they accepted her resignation quietly. No real condemnation, just business as usual. Jacob Zuma is also still out there rallying crowds while his daughter walks free, his psychopathic daughter. And now here's the kicker, nothing will be done to stop her, and you know that. I mean, the investigation is ongoing, but let's be real. Just how many Zuma scandals have fizzled out? State capture dragged on for years with minimal consequences. The Hawks might probe, but with political ties, expect more delays, expect dropped charges, or a slap on the wrist. South Africa's anti-mercenary laws are clear, up to 15 years for recruiting fighters, but law enforcement, spotty at best. We've seen it with other cases. South Africans are fighting abroad, and they get fines or warnings, not real justice. Tutuzile is protected by her surname, and it's the elite shield that lets the powerful skate. Media, like News 24, exposed parts of it in their Conned into Combat series, detailing how these men were duped. But even they pull punches, focusing on the victims without fully acknowledging that Tutuzile Zuma is in this, and without fully torching the enablers. International pressure from the US or Ukraine might be harsh and might push, but locally, the ANC government, despite MK's opposition, they do nothing about it. They'll let it simmer down, they'll let the elections come and go, and Tutuzile is going to come back and she'll resurface unscathed. Brethren, this scandal exposes the rot in our system. Poverty weaponized, lives traded like commodities, and accountability for the connected non-existent. Tutuzile's actions aren't just criminal. They are a betrayal of every struggling South African. We need to demand action. We need to push for those men to be brought home for real prosecutions, not performative probes and scandals. I mean, share their stories, call out the psychopaths in power. Because if we stay silent, nothing will change. And she's counting on that. Psychopaths like her count on that. But together, we can force the light on this darkness. So what do you say? Are you ready to subscribe and fight back? Because it's time we give the noise that she always rightfully deserved. And it's time we finally spoke truth to power. I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe to join the summer movement.